been a very busy month of creative projects, both photo and video. I like to sit down, hit record, and just reflect on everything. Also, catch you guys up on what I've been up to, bring you guys along on some what I think is pretty cool projects, pretty cool opportunities that I've been fortunate enough to be a part of. September and October are chaos in the most exciting way, but very challenging for me, just mentally. Physically, yes, it's just go, go, go in September and October, but more so I'm finding it very challenging mentally to juggle all of the things, to keep up with all the things, each project, each client, physically shooting days or times, then editing days or times, then normal life, my wife, groceries, keeping the house up, spending time with her, all of those normal things, admin stuff, not even just normal admin stuff of like sending invoices and Zoom calls with potential clients, scheduling things and mood boards, and trying to compartmentalize and keep track of each individual project and give each individual project time and energy. No way I am complaining. I am just shedding light on my personal hurdles, things that no one teaches you, or I guess talks about, like working for yourself, especially in the creative field. Everyone just kind of shows the glamorous life, shooting sports or shooting artists. No one, at least that I can think of, is really talking about juggling all of the things or how to juggle all the things. I don't want to say burnt out because that's not my feeling on this. It's just trying to roll with the punches of being freelance and having so many individual projects. And that is currently what I'm feeling a little overwhelmed with. For example, I'll get a text, hey, are you available, this and that, or get a DM, hey, are you, and an email, and it's like sometimes I mentally read it, the text, and then I'm just like, I don't have the energy to respond, whether it is for work or personally related. It's just been a lot September moving into October. Just a few quick hits, what you're getting yourself into before we dive into each project. We have Steve Aoki at his house, a trade show for Alibaba, NHL Media Day, Canelo versus Crawford, Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish, elopements on film, the start of hockey season, a brand shoot for a sunglass company, photographing the strokes, and a movie premiere for A24. But before we get into all of these projects, I need to get a quick run in. That's just who I've become now. So get the body moving, and then I'm going to check in with you afterwards. I got an email to photograph Steve Aoki at his house. So The Athletic is subdivision or subcategory of the New York Times, is sports based. They were doing a piece on Steve Aoki's personal card collection. This is super cool. I mean, I've photographed Steve Aoki usually in the music world, nightclubs like Hakkasan, Omnia, even at the UFC Expo, was doing some stuff with Dana White. It's just cool to be able to get the opportunity to be invited into a celebrity's house in their space. Literally just Sarah interviewing him and me, just us three. Steve went through his collection, some holy grails of his, and you can check out the full thing on the HQ.com. Anytime my camera gets me places or access to something that not anyone really gets access to, is awesome for me and definitely something that I cherish. So that was the kickoff the month of September. I want to share with y'all, connect with y'all, answer any questions or comments, and just treat this as a place for me to sit down, hit record, and reflect. Build a community of like-minded individuals, whether photo, video, or any other form of artist. Maybe photo or video is a side thing for you, and you still have questions or just want to connect with other people. I am here to connect with y'all as much as I would like y'all to connect with me. That's all I like to treat my YouTube as, is a place for me, but also an outlet for you as well. The next project was a 2-day conference or keynote speaker for Alibaba. Now, the conference itself wasn't the most exciting. Shoot one conference, you've shot them all basically. But what was cool about this one was I got to bring in quite a few friends. The client wanted to hire 5 photographers total. So I got to work with a handful of friends that I enjoy being around and also love working with. I got to bring in Cole, Chelsea, Mike Perez, and Alan. It's very rare that you get a project that needs multiple photographers that you get to bring on yourself or work with. Especially in this case, I got to work with a handful of friends, so that was just good energy all around. Client was awesome, client was happy. Never know who is seeing your work or who's gonna reference your work or send somebody else your way. So those things mean more than you think. So if you're watching this, you're a colleague, you're a friend, and pass my info along. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Canelo versus Crawford, a historical event, very intense. This was at Legion Stadium, and this gig was directly for TKO Group, which is Zuffa Boxing, which is UFC. A lot of different titles right there, but it was basically directly for the UFC, which is awesome. My duties were pretty flexible from the client. Capture anything unique, any different perspective, any sort of different angle. Action itself, we had a photographer, Chris, on the apron, and then Jeff was up on the second level shooting, into the ring. My duties were just capture extra stuff or different stuff, since those two guys are pretty much locked in those positions, capturing the fight entrance exits themselves. I was kind of roaming, capturing celebrities where I could, fan interactions, fans exciting, fans. Are you sad at a sporting event? Yeah, whether excited or obviously bummed that their favorite boxer won or lost. Good and bad in that situation, as far as being kind of like a loose shot list or loose deliverables is, on one hand, the pro is I can be as creative as I want. It could kind of capture whatever I see fit in the moment. The downside is not having a kind of strict shot list or restrictions to catch. You can kind of spiral or not really be sure of what to capture. It can kind of be overwhelming in that regard. Shit, should I be here? Should I be there? Well, what is this? Are they even going to use this? I trusted my gut, trusted my experience. I've been in plenty of these situations before where client is like, hey, just capture something different or extra. Just kind of be in the moment, feel it out. Before the main card started, I ended up near the loading docks, which was perfect because I caught Mike Tyson walking by, as well as Canelo and Terence Crawford's arrivals. Basically, before the main card and before the chaos began, I just wandered around the arena, figured out my routes of like how to get up to different areas. I shot some stuff from the ground floor. I went up to the second, shot some stuff from there into the ring. I also shot Canelo's mariachi band from underneath the torch. So just things like that, getting familiar with the venue itself and how to get up and down and around in the quickest way possible, kind of planning out those things for later in the event that something happens. I'm like, oh, I saw that thing, I know where that is, or oh, this will be a cool perspective later on when the crowd is full. Pretty insane. There was a ton of media there, obviously, and then even after the fight, again, knowing that we have somebody in the ring getting the hero moment, tried to find other things I could capture, and I got lucky and ended up finding Terence Crawford's family, tried to focus on that and getting their reactions, their celebration. Something to note, if you don't have experience shooting live events, if you don't know who somebody is, whether it's a celebrity or like a family member, the live broadcast cameras or any video camera focusing on somebody, probably a good little cue to pick up on that they are somebody important. Shoot it, get a good shot, figure it out later, right? And this was one of those things that caught my eye. There was a video camera shooting this lady. This family was going crazy, right? I didn't know who was who. As I get closer and I see Nico Ollie Walsh in the mix, as well as I believe it was Terence Crawford's mother and then children. So stuck to that area once I figured out that this is clearly one of the main fighters' family. Got their reaction, got that little celebration moment, and then eventually moved on. Heading into October as I sit down to record this, and man, September and October have been chaos, have been nonstop, all gas, no brakes. I'm very grateful. I'm just also very tired. That's the freelance life though. You are always in a constant fear of, I don't know when that next gig will come, so I gotta take it all while I can get it. There are no guarantees in life. There are no guarantees as a freelancer working for yourself. So you tend to just go, put the hammer down and power through it. Being based in Vegas, fortunately, there is so much work in this town. And it's also cool that if I'm unavailable, I'm recommending my friends and people I trust and vice versa. So that's always a really good feeling, being like client or potential client hitting you up. Are you available? Yada, yada. Oh, I'm not, but hey, what is it? Okay, let me hit up so-and-so and recommend you to somebody that I trust, and you will be in good hands. Very awesome to start to build or have that circle of people you trust. I also had the opportunity for a second year in a row to shoot the NHL Media Day for Fanatics. I do shoot for the NHL, but this one actually wasn't through the NHL at all. It was through a video production company who was hired from Fanatics. Shout out to Elite Edge. It was actually the same exact set as we did last year. New jerseys, new players on new teams. For example, Mitch Marner coming over to Vegas. He was on the schedule to capture him in gold. That workflow was pretty much dialed as I've shot last year, but this one I borrowed a anamorphic lens and tried to do some stills. It's not something I have heard of before, obviously because manual focus, third-party monitor to actually view it in its full capacity, because if you try to just view it on your camera screen, it's gonna look weirdly stretched and compressed, which looks like shit.
Sweet, perfect. We can do stills here.
All right, Lucas, coming up to you here. Yeah, right. There we go, and right there.
Thank you.
And then go shoulders this way for me, and then head my way. Yeah, you got it. There we go. That is also another thing that I realized after shooting the stills. You have to then convert it uncompressed version. If you just try to import the Canon file, it's going to look like shit, and there's not a way to get its full potential from a Capture One, which is what I use. Had to bring it into Photoshop, do the whole aspect ratio, and then save it back to edit it or filter on it. I didn't spend too much time on the anamorphic side because this was client work, manual focus, and having literally 3 to 5 minutes with each player to shoot both photo and video. I had to be as quick as I can, and I had to just rely on client priority, trusting your gut and knowing the task at hand is what is paying you, what is priority. Clean stills on a camera that has autofocus. Anamorphics are a side thing. Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish at Allegiant Stadium. This client was an event planner and event decor of mine, and then they also, for whatever reason, had it in their contract to grab a handful of photos of Darius Rucker performing. I'll chuck some of those up. Pretty cool to be in Allegiant Stadium, shoot something that actually wasn't football. It was a private event for a storage company. It must be like their yearly meeting or whatever. Another project that was pretty cool was Camelo sunglasses. This was photo and video. The talent was Mr. Number One. Pretty straightforward run and gun, couple talking pieces. Elopements, I only had 3, which is really light for me in September, but I've been so busy with all these other projects. It's all good. It all balances out. Yeah, elopements strictly on film. Main weapons for that are my Canon EOS 1N and the Contax T2. Then we dive into hockey season. Preseason starts end of September. I am very excited to be back year 3 for the NHL. And so yeah, hockey season is starting to come full swing here in October. It's rolling through it. Another cool project was photographing the strokes at the Chelsea Theater. Shout out to Chelsea for the layup of that. Shooting at the Chelsea Theater, pretty cool venue. Also, the strokes lighting setup was difficult because a lot of the stuff was backlit. Obviously, not my lighting design, so can't do much about it. First 3 songs from the pit, no flash, pretty standard stuff. Gigs like that, I like. Quick in, get the photos, and then dip out. I shot a movie premiere of this screening for A24 Films, which I'm a big fan of. Shout out to Mike Kirschbaum for the layup. This was the movie premiere of The Smashing Machine. That was kind of a crossover for me personally, as the movie is based upon MMA scene. One fighter in particular, Mark Kerr. It was a crossover for me as I'm pretty familiar with the MMA world. Saw a few people I've shot before and people I'm familiar with. Movie screening, they did it inside Red Rock Casino, and then after the movie went over to the Rouge Room, which nothing too exciting over there. A couple cool decor and detail shots for me, a couple people talking, but there wasn't a ton in there, mostly just people sitting and eating. Pretty straightforward, but cool opportunity. So hopefully something comes from being in the A24 universe. Event planner, they're called 360. They put on events here, and all they want for my deliverables is their setups and their decor in which they provide to the client. Super easy, super straightforward. I'm only focusing on their stuff, whether it's high tops, chairs, any sort of cool photo op. So they just want nice photos to present for future packages, potential clients, as well as just recap stuff for that event. Awesome. Don't have to talk to people on those gigs. Don't have to interact with anybody or direct anybody. Everything is all in balance. When I'm not feeling social, my social battery is drained. Those gigs are perfect for me. Throw my headphones in and then just capture everything on the client's list. We're just going to keep trucking along through October and November here and finish this year strong. I am very grateful for being as busy as I have been. Also, just all of the different projects and various things I get to shoot, whether they're portraits or sporting events, food, decor, music. Like, it's just crazy. Said it before, I'll say it again. It's just awesome that every day is a new adventure. Very grateful. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions, let me know. Would love to chat. We'll see you in the next one.